Okay, in the United States, turn 4. We are going to do the tech roll first, simply because we want to make sure that it is going to affect our purchases, basically. So the Americans are going to buy 4 dice, and they got a 6 and a 5, so they got the tech that they needed. And the tech that they needed, which will come into play this turn, is improved transports. So we'll just put the build together now. Okay, so the Americans are going to buy, for the Pacific side of the board, they're going to buy for $18 an infantry, transport, and a destroyer. On the Atlantic side of the board, for $55, they're going to buy 3 transports for $21, a destroyer for $8, so that's $29, and then 2 infantry, 2 tanks, and 2 artillery. So that's 21, 29, 37, 49, 55, right? The Chinese have $12 to spend. They're going to spend 10 of those $12 and save $2 for the next turn. They're going to be purchasing 2 infantry and a cavalry. Okay, in terms of combat, there are a few attacks that are going to be made here. First and foremost, this destroyer from C-Zone 101 is going to auto-kill the transport in C-Zone 91. So that's the American. That's the only stuff on the Pacific side, or on the Atlantic side, sorry. In China, China is going to make 3 attacks on the Japanese. They're going to send the fighter and their lone remaining cavalry from Xikang to Kansu. They're going to send 3 infantry from Xikang to Shenxi, and they're going to send 3 infantry from Xikang into Sichuan. Okay. The Americans will be declaring 2 attacks in the Pacific. They're going to come into these 2 blocker destroyers with 2 submarines and the tactical bomber from Hawaii. 3. Yeah, okay, tactical bomber from Hawaii, yeah. They will also be sending everything in C-Zone 26 to the Caroline Islands to take the Carolines. So that means their new improved transports are going to take everybody off Hawaii. There are 4 infantry, 1 mechanized infantry, and 1 artillery there. So they will be hitting the Carolines. Carolines is basically a walk-on because there's only any aircraft artillery there. Okay, I think that's it for combat. So we'll start rolling these up. Okay, this is the attack on Kansu. The Japanese are coming in with a cavalry and the Flying Tiger fighter. So that's a 2 and a 3. And that's a hit. Go Flying Tigers. Japanese defend with a 2. And miss. So the Chinese do take the territory and have no casualties in this battle. It's the battle for Shenxi. 3 Chinese infantry versus Japanese infantry. So that's 3 1s versus a 2. 3 misses. I hate these battles. Hit. There we go. Miss. Okay, so the Chinese take the territory with no casualties. Okay, in the battle for Sichuan, we have exactly the same attack profile. 3 infantry versus an infantry. No hits. Hit, no hit. No hits. No hit. Hit! Finally. And miss. Okay, so the Chinese take the territory with no casualties. Okay, in the battle for Sea Zone 16, the Japanese destroyers Minagumo and Fubuki, I think? Fubuki, sorry. Minagumo and Fubuki are being attacked by the American submarines SS-249 Flasher and SS-306 Tang, along with a strategic bomber from Hawaii. So, 2, 2s, and 3. These are not first strikes because there's destroyers in the water. 2 2s and a 3 versus 2 2s. 1 hit. No hits. So this goes away. The bomber flies away, so we have 2 2s versus a 2, basically. Misses. Miss. Hit. Hit. So one of the 2 submarines is destroyed. I think we'll save the Tang and kill the Flasher. And the 2 Japanese destroyers are destroyed. The sea zone is cleared. And the Americans win the battle with 1 submarine casualty. Okay, this is the amphibious landing in the Carolines. The transport SS William S. Ladd is offloading 2 infantry and mechanized infantry. The transport SS John H. Couch is offloading 2 infantry and an artillery. It's being supported by 2 cruisers, the USS Indianapolis and the USS Houston, and 2 battleships, the USS Missouri and the USS Indiana. There is actually no rolling to be done because the only thing that's in the Carolines is an anti-aircraft gun, and it will be automatically destroyed. It gets no defense. So attack successful. Okay, so battle for Sea Zone 91. The German transport ship 33 Penguin is being attacked by the American destroyer, the USS Parker. This is an auto kill. The transport does not get a defense, but Sea Zone is now cleared. Okay, for American non-combat in the Atlantic, they will be loading up 1 infantry onto this transport. And they will be moving the entire Navy, with the exception of a single transport, to Sea Zone 86, where they will be activating the troops in Brazil for the Americans. In terms of Chinese non-combat movement, relatively straightforward. Everything in Xikang is moving to Singhai, and the fighter plane from Kansu is landing in Singhai as well. So all of the Chinese forces will be congregated in Singhai. In terms of the Pacific, the American strategic bomber is going to be landing in British Columbia. Over here, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And the American fighter on the Hawaiian Islands is going to be landing in Queensland, at the air base in Queensland with the Aussies. So that's all the non-combat. So we'll tidy up the board and be back with stuff pretty soon. Sorry, just one more non-combat. The 2 infantry in the western United States will be moving up into British Columbia to be with the strategic bomber. Okay, placements in the Atlantic. The destroyer is going to go here, and the 3 transports are going to go here. And then we're going to put 2 infantry, 2 more artillery, and 2 more tanks. eastern United States. Okay, in China, probably no surprise here. Everything is going into Shanghai. And in the eastern United States, the infantry is going there. And the new transport and destroyer are going there. Okay. In terms of income, the Americans do claim the Carolines, but they're not worth anything. The Chinese are going to go up 2 for Sichuan, 1 for Shenxi, and none for Kansu. So up 3 at the expense of the Japanese. So they were at, they were at 1, they're going to go to 4. And the Japanese are at 58, they're going to go to 55. The Americans do get a change to their IPC scoring because they're going to claim Brazil for $2. So if we put that on here, they go from 52 to 54. Okay. That's active. Okay. All right. So in terms of money, the Chinese are going to collect $4 this turn. They had $2 last turn. They don't get a national objective because the Burma Road is closed, but they're going to put $6 in their treasury. The Americans have a base income of 54. They did build at least 2 units in the Atlantic and the Pacific, so they're going to get $5 per side, so that's 10. They get $5 for the Mexico Central America thing. They get $5 for all of the islands in Alaska and all that stuff, and they get 5 for still somehow and probably holding the Philippines. So disposition of forces. Let's start in the Atlantic. In the eastern United States, there are 4 infantry, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, 4 artillery, 3 tanks, and a mechanized infantry. In C-Zone 101, there are 4 transports and 1 destroyer. In C-Zone 91, there is a destroyer. In C-Zone 86, there is a transport. There's a fully loaded carrier with 2 fighters, and there's a destroyer and a cruiser. In Brazil, there are now 4 American infantry. Moving over into China. I'll zoom out a smidge so we can see this whole thing. In China, we have in Sichuan 3 infantry, in Shenxi 3 infantry, in Kansu a cavalry. In Shanghai, we have the Flying Tiger Volunteer American Fighter Squadron. We have a tank, we have an artillery, we have a a cavalry, and then we have, in terms of infantry, 11 infantry. Okay, moving over. In the Philippines, there are 2 infantry. In Queensland, there is a fighter. In, God, what is that C-Zone? I think it's 33. We have 3 fully loaded aircraft carriers, 2 of which have 2 fighters, and 1 of which has a fighter and a tactical bomber. We have 2 transports, 2 battleships, 2 cruisers, 3 destroyers, and 2 submarines. On the Carolines themselves, there are 4 infantry, 1 mechanized infantry, and 1 artillery. Up in C-Zone 16, there is a submarine. In C-Zone 10, let's see if we can zoom in there. In C-Zone 10, we have 2 transports and a destroyer. In the western United States, there are 2 mechanized infantry, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, and 1 infantry. And in British Columbia, Canada, there are 2 American infantry and an American strategic bomber. That should be the disposition of forces for the entire board. So on to UK turn 4 pretty soon.